How do people not see that we are God? We created things that he couldn't even create in physical reality yet. Like some of the monsters we created, and thank God that he hasn't created them, and he's not going to. I don't believe it, and I believe that my belief's strong enough and my connection's strong enough with him. He won't create any monsters unless people really try to believe in more monsters for some reason. But even the monsters and the fake things that we ever made up they all exist on one certain plane. So everything that you've ever imagined, from the worst to the best, exists. And the only way that you get rid of it or disband it from negative vibration is by completely loving it and accepting it, no matter how bad it tortures you in a spirit realm. If you have something scary come to you, all you have to do is unconditionally love it. Basically to say, you don't scare me. Like when I had my first bad trip, I actually thought one of my friends was the devil named Craig Morgan. I tried to kiss him. He hasn't talked to me since, and it's been 20 years. But that's why. Because I didn't know that. But at that point in time when I wanted to survive, I felt like I thought he was the devil. He was showing up as the devil. And I know now that there is no devil. But there was some evil spirit that I was projecting into him. It wasn't even, excuse me, he might not even have felt it. But I was projecting it into him and seeing it through him. So, spirits can do some crazy stuff. They can haunt people that aren't haunted, but only to you. Have you ever had somebody look at you and give you like a crazy look, but they're like, I didn't do anything? Sometimes that's a spirit. I know that sounds funny, but don't tell me, everyone's probably experienced that once in a while. That's a spirit. It's some kind of spirit. It might even be an animal spirit jumping in a body for a second. I know it sounds silly, but just like the wind blows, spirits are just moving all around. They're not scary. They're not going to harm anybody. They might spook you. But a real spirit is a cloudy figure, a ghost. It's not going to form into a hologram like they do in, like Star Wars, or like other ghosts aren't holograms. If you see a hallucination, sometimes your imagination can grab a ghost's ghastly, the haziness, and use your own imagination to turn into something. We are capable of everything. That's the point. Like when something that seems unbelievable, like something from the imaginal plane, like a ghost or something like that, is actually manifested enough in the reality, because a lot of people believe in ghosts, believe it or not, that when it manifests in reality, it grabs whatever pieces of vapor and color and fragments in the air to form something, and it can't hold it for very long because it has to be super powerful, and there's only been very few people who are powerful enough to have done that in the afterlife as a spirit without a body. A lot of people have been able to project things with their present life with a body, but that's a different thing, and they have to be nearby, and most people don't develop themselves to that point, and we all can. That's the point. We all could actually do that, but that would end up being a bad thing because people would use it for their own bad intentions. They'd use it for their own good intentions, but they'd harm others in order to do it. The problem is God knows who and what won't whatever, but then during the time when those people, sometimes he makes mistakes too. You know what I mean? Some bad people get power. And other times people get the power, tell people about it, and then people don't believe them to the point where they either just lock them away or kill them. You know what I mean? That happens to many people who meet heavenly spirits, or what you could say, not heavenly, divine. Because there is no heaven. Heaven is just going back to the light. And hell is not going to the light and coming back for another turn on earth till you discover that you're part of the light. And that's it. It may sound whatever, but it's actually much better than a God in heaven that's going to judge you for sinning and not sinning. I'm not saying go crazy and do whatever, because the vibrations do matter, and God does care in a vibrational sense. If you had to kill somebody for a defense purpose on the way to purifying us and becoming whole, then it's right. It's right to kill, I guess, if you were doing it in a divine way in order for us to become our whole. But nobody is doing that. They're not doing it in a divine way. They're doing it for their own self-purpose. Tell me I'm wrong. Please.